Naguulat mula sa shore na kasing pretty ko.
Bringing you the latest and greatest.
And diving deep into the cool waters
of BLs and GLs.
And every kind of love there is.
We are the Shippers.
Sail with us as we watch our favorite queer love stories.
And update you about the latest every week.
Kaya tara, sakay na as we sail the open seas.
With new episodes Mondays and Wednesdays on all major podcast streaming platforms.
Sakay na you. Let's go.
The views, takes and opinions expressed on this show are of the host's own and do not represent the views, takes and opinions of the Bunk Collective and its affiliates. Material and sources mentioned in this episode is for general and commentary purposes only. This episode might include strong language and may not be suitable for children. Listener discretion is advised. Stay safe and stay wrestle everyone. Welcome to the show.
Welcome to your unfiltered Tagalog Wrestling Podcast. And this is the MTV Show Podcast, a wrestling podcast. Ayun, so that's better. So bago tayo magmekos-mekos sa Crown Jewel 2023, since yun ang ating priority this week, bibigyan ko muna kayo ng isang mahalagang plug, no? Hindi naman siya sponsored. Hindi siya sponsored at hindi rin ako inauthorize to do this plug. Pero gusto ko i-acknowledge tong bagong streaming service na kaka-launch lang dito sa Philippines. Kaka-launch lang o kaka-rebrand lang. Ito yung Blast TV. Alam niyo ito, ang Blast TV, formerly known as TapGo TV and TapGo. Ayan. So sa mga hindi nakakaalam, ito po ang bahay ng AEW before, bahay po ng Impact Wrestling before, and currently bahay ng WWE for their weekly shows. So ano po ba ang Blast TV? Sa mga hindi nakakaalam, ang Blast TV is a streaming service na kung saan you can watch free shows. Oo, pag may Converge ka, free, no? Kaso may ads. Syempre, bibigyan ko kayo ng pros and cons ng service na to. Hindi naman ako bias, of course. Bigyan ko kayo ng pros and cons itong streaming service na to. Bago ko kayo pasadahan sa Crown Jewel 2023. Ayun. So, itong streaming service na to, available na siya as of now sa Play Store, sa Apple, at saka syempre sa mga streaming service din, sa mga TV, like Android TV, probably GTV soon, at saka sa mga Chromecast, pwede nyo rin siya Chromecast. Pero to sa ngayon, ang observations ko, ito, bigyan ko muna kayo ng konting background nito sa service. So, ito ay dating TapGo TV. So sa mga hindi nakakaalam ng TapGo TV is a solo, ano lang siya tawag dito, it's more on a streaming service lang. Pero ngayon, nag-launch sila before ng Blast TV last September. Ito ay exclusive lang to Converge at saka mga Globe subscriber. So ngayon, ang Blast TV, they merged it with TapGo TV. So that's the concept. So pag magbabayad ka ng 179 pesos 1 month yun, libre na lahat ng content na meron ka sa loob. Ay, libre. Lahat ng content doon available sa'yo. Meron siyang 5 channels. So, i-check ko nga yung wall ni Tap para medyo transparent tayo sa mga pinagsasabi natin dito. Ayan, sige. Punta tayong Blast TV. So, may terms sila at mayroon sila ditong facts na terms dito sa kanilang service. So, ito na nga. Yung Blast TV, meron itong dalawang tiers nga. Like what I said. Na one is the tier na may ads and number 2 tier na walang ads. So yung walang ads, ito yung babayaran mo. You need to pay this for $179. So syempre, basahin muna natin yung terms kung gusto niyo malaman din yung terms. So, ang Blast TV, available siya if you're using Converge Fiber X, BDAP Fiber, and Surf to Sawa o yung tinatawag na S2S. Meron din siya sa Globe at Home G-Fiber prepaid subscriber. So yun na nga, ito, visit nyo siya, blasttv.ph. You can download it sa Google Play at sa App Store. Ito na nga, ito yung tricky. Medyo tricky siya. Sa akin ha, medyo tricky to. Number 1, ito, meron kasi kaming Converge and subscriber ako ng Blast TV. Hindi, ng Tap Go before. Di ko siya ginagamit. Nakalak lahat ng channel. So, ang ginawa ko, medyo tricky siya. Dinelete ko yung account. And then, I have to connect to my Wi-Fi, which is Converge. And then, isa ako siya sinet up as a Blast TV. Ganun yung ginawa ko. Kung gusto ko siya i-take advantage. Pero in fairness kasi dito, ang maganda dito, kahit may ads, hindi ako magre-react. Kasi ang ganda ng content ni Blast TV. Wala akong bias dito ha. Eto. So, itong Blast TV with ISP, itong may ISP na to, may ads to, syempre. You have the option to upgrade to the paid plan, o yung 179, kung gusto mo ma-remove yung ads, at syempre, para ma-access mo yung premium channels. In regards to WWE, kasama siya sa libre. So, kung gusto nyo manood ng libreng WWE, and kung gusto nyo manood ng libreng UFC, at saka yung iba pa mga content nila, UFC, UEFA, yung mga nanonood dyan ng football, Bundesliga, tsaka syempre yung mga BKFC, they're also the rights owner ng mga yun. So yan nga, like what I said, kung meron kang Converge, you can subscribe to this. Libre lang naman. Inakuha ko, it's a 6 months plan. Not bad. Sa totoo lang, not bad. I tried to watch this week's SmackDown on Tap Go TV or Blast TV. I'm still into Tap Go TV kasi mas nasanay ako dun. Pero, ito nga, nanonood niya ako ng SmackDown. Yung buong episode, wala siyang ads. Isang ad lang yung makikita mo sa service. And that's a pro. Sa akin ha, that's a pro. Kasi, yung ibang service, kada 30 minutes or kada isang oras may lalabas dyan na ads. Just like YouTube. May lalabas dyan na pa isa-isa, pa dalawa-dalawang ads. Hindi pa na-i-skip. Ito kay Tap Go o kay Blast TV, putangin na, lagi na ako nalilito dun. Then si Blast TV, isa lang yung ads that you have to skip, which is the ad before the program. So, you can access the VOD of the Raw, SmackDown, NXT, and you can access the live as well via Tap Sports sa Blast TV din. So, ang sabi dito sa mga frequently asked questions, what if I am insisting Tap Go TV subscriber? How do I switch to the pre-access thanks to my ISP? So, pwede kang kumonect sa ISP mo. Pwede ka rin mag-connect doon. Pero syempre, cancel mo muna. Cancel mo muna yung subscription mo. Sasabihin mo na hindi mo nagagamitin. Pero ang ginawa ko, dinelete ko yung account ko para safe. Ganun yung ginawa ko. Pero nga, madali lang naman maggawa ng account. So kung gusto niyo maggawa, visit lang kayo sa welcome or sa blasttv.ph. Ayun. So pwede na kayo mag-create doon ng account. And then, pwede na kayo mag-direct doon ng nood sa browser. Or kung mas maganda, download niyo yung app. Ayun nga. So like what I said before, yung mga channels, yung mga sports channels like UEFA, UFC, NFL, PGA, yung golf, WWE, WTA, yung badminton, at marami pang iba. Ito ay available through all of their channels. Sa Premier Sports Network 1 and 2, Premier Football, Top Sports, which is the home of the WWE, Edge Sport. Hindi ko alam. I'm confused. Gusto ko elaborate niyo ako dito. May I know, sports channel ba talaga tong Edge Sports at saka tong USA Today Sports? Kasi puro balita yun nandito. Puro balita yun nandito eh. Di ako sure. Seryoso walang halong talk shit Pero feeling ko hindi, akala ko di siya sports channel. Ayun nga, like what I said, ito yung mga premium channels na hindi mo ma-access sa ISP. So, syempre, meron tong AFN. So, Asian Food Network ata ito. And then, Paramount, DreamWorks, HGTV, MTV, and CNBC. Ito, tubihan na sa akin, wala akong pakialam sa mga channels na yun. Kasi di naman ako nanonood ng luto-luto. I'm not into movies din naman ng Paramount kasi I can watch some movies din naman on Studio Universal. Yun yung kanilang ina-attract ngayon. So, ito yung kanilang ina-attract, which is the Studio Universal. It's a TV, yes. Pero meron din siya mga video on demand. Ito yung ina-attract nila ngayon for their listeners and for the viewers. Ayun nga. Interesting siya in a way because that was a really good service na gusto pa ma-improve, I think, in my opinion, ni Top DMV, no? Pero yun nga, ito nga, like what I said, ang highlight dito was the Studio Universal. Ito yung exclusive sa Philippines. Ito yung exclusive sa Philippines na Blast TV, which is the Studio Universal. Ito yung tawag dito. Ito yung teka lang, naisip ko na siya eh. Ito yung exclusive na nagdadala ng mga movies from NBC Universal, which is the home din ng WWE in the States. Yun. So, yung mga movies dito like Jurassic Park, Born, Back to the Future, Fast and Furious, at marami pang iba. So, anong meron sila dito? 31 channels, 11 Blast TV Signature, 6 sports channels, 15 entertainment channels. Yung 5 doon, syempre, locked. Ayun warningan ko kayo locked yun. Pero niya, sa akin, ang feedback ko lang naman dito, with Blast TV, ang ganda niya, to be honest maganda yung Blast TV. Kasi ako, bilang hampas lupa, joke lang, ayaw ko magsabing hampas lupa ako. Pero bilang isang tao na medyo marami nakukuhang reklamo na kesyo, ba't si ganito, hindi naman dapat to binabayaran, nakakapanood naman ako ng libre ng ganito. Ganyan yung na-obserbahan ko eh. Kasi pwede naman ako manood ng wrestling ng libre or UFC ng libre. Ito kasi isipin niyo, legal to. Legal na service siya. So, para sa akin, holding a Blast TV subscription is still a good deal. Kaysa mag-subscribe kayo sa Disney Plus, na basura naman mag-air ng kanilang WWE programming. Plus, hindi pa sila nakikinig sa mga sa mga viewers at saka sa mga subscriber nila. Buwisit. Pero yun, overall experience ko so far since November 3, ang masasabi ko lang, ito. Wala naman ako masyadong bad feelings about the ads kasi isa-isa lang naman siya kada time na maggagalaw ka. Pero yun lang naman ang magiging deal breaker ng karamihan regarding to this streaming service. Pero kung gusto nyo walang ads talaga, magbayad kayo. Wala pang 200 yan. Isang araw mo lang yan. Ayun, yun lang naman. Sa tingin ko, it's still a steal. Sulit pa din kung magsusubscribe kayo. Lalo na kung ang habol mo, hindi lang naman WWE. So kung sa totoo lang, sulit pa rin siya. So sulit pa din kaysa mag-subscribe ka sa Disney Plus. So masasabi ko talaga, sulit pa din yung pag-subscribe nyo sa Blast TV if you're going to subscribe it on day-to-day basis. Pero ako, in my opinion, sulit na ako dun sa sa Blast TV na Converge. Still na sa akin yun. Pero, ayun, kung hindi lang naman UFC or WWE ang habol mo, siguro, sulit to sa'yo. Lalo na yung mga movies, mga mapapanood mo sa Blast TV. Sobrang sulit nun. Kaya, ayan, mangungumbinsin na ako, mag-subscribe din kayo sa Blast TV. And, malay nyo, di naman ako nangangarap, pero susubukan ko rin talaga mag-subscribe ulit through their paid service. Pero, sa tingin ko naman, ang Blast TV, worth it na siya kahit yung may ads. Oo. Sulit na siya sa akin. Okay na yun, okay na siya sa akin. Pero, ewan ko sa iba dyan na surang-sura sa mga ads. Pero ako naman, di naman ako susura kasi puro lang naman siya promotional ads ng top or ng mga Blast TV channels. So, para sa akin, sulit pa din yun. Wala naman akong complaint sa mga ads. Lalo na kung, maliban na lang kung Spotify o kaya yung yung YouTube ads na hindi mo ma-skip. Ayan, going back, ayan nga, so maganda yung Blast TV, share ko lang. Kung gusto niyo mag-subscribe kayo. And it's only $179. And kung gusto niyo na libre, mag-subscribe kayo sa Converge o sa Globe. Globe at home, hindi yung Globe sa cellphone. Ayun na. So, yun na yun. Blast TV, so far, ang ganda ng feedback ko about them. Sana di kayo magbago. Yan lang. So, let's continue to our review, Crown Jewel. So, yung scores nito, syempre, ay ilalagay ko na lang sa Patreon review, which will be released probably after nitong episode ma-release. After ng release nitong episode na to, i-up ko din yung review nito sa Patreon. So, ang Patreon natin, tawag dito. So, yung Patreon natin, expect nyo na lang doon yung free natin na Patreon scores. Ayan. So, yung BFG, pasensya na ha. Hindi ko na na-up yung scores nun. Pero, bibigay ko yun. Bibigay ko yun ng libre. Hahabol ko siya sa episode before. Sa isang review pa pala. I-rehabol ko siya. Pero yan. Going back here, so we have Crown Jewel. So, bibigyan na natin to ng review. So, ako technically, ang una magre-review nito sa Pinas. Nakakatawa lang. Share ko lang. Pero yun nga, usual, maganda yung mga pyro pagdating sa mga Saudi shows. Alam mo naman, it's very Saudi. Alam mo, it's very Saudi yung mga ganitong pyro-pyro ng WWE. No? Yung mga ganitong papyro ni WWE, pagdating sa Saudi shows, hindi na to something na makikita mo sa WrestleMania. Pero na, before we continue, welcome to the MTE Show Podcast, a wrestling podcast by Ibang Collective. Syempre, if you want to follow the show, if you want to follow our conversation here, you can support the show on Facebook, Twitter, or X, Instagram, sa TikTok, sa Twitch, at saka sa ating YouTube channel at the MTE Show Pod, and on our Patreon, patreon.com/the MTE Show Pod. So let's continue with our discussion. So the show opened with Drew McIntyre versus Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship. Man, sa totoo lang, sa totoo lang, putrikis. Alam mo yung ganda nito Ang analysis ko dito, sa totoo lang, the match was so good. You know what I like about this show? Number one, nag-open sila ng huge match, which is great. This is their biggest match beside Roman and LA Knight. But, number two, Byron Saxton is the ring announcer. And, man, Byron Saxton killed it. I'm a fan of Samantha Irvin. I'm not a fan of Mike Rome. Fan din ako ni Alicia Taylor. Si Jimmy tuloy. Si Justin Roberts. Ayan, yung mga ring announcer na yan. Sa tingin ko, sila yung mga top ring announcers to me. Pero, currently kasi, tragis ka. Bigyan nyo na kay Byron Saxton tong role na to, please. Huwag nyo nang ilagay si Mike Rome sa SmackDown. Nakikiusap ako. I think, Byron Saxton killed it on the announcement. So far, man. Hindi ko pa pwede sabihin na kasing galing ni Samantha Irvin or Mike Rome. But man, holy man, that was a really good announcing by Byron Saxton. Saludo ko doon, pre. Sobrang solid. Yun na. Pero yun, let's start with the matches. Mamaya ko na ilagay yung mga thoughts ko regarding the show. Regarding my side comments. So, Seth Rollins versus Drew McIntyre. Pinanood ko siya ng live. Pero sa haba kasi ng introductions, nakatulog na ako. Nakatulog ako for some moments, no? And I have to watch it later on sa pagkatapos ma-release nung VOD. Ayun. So medyo nakatulugan ko yung show in a way. And medyo upset din ako on that. Medyo na-upset din ako in a way na natulugan ko yung anticipated matches. One of the most anticipating match ng Crown Jewel natulugan ko. It's kind of sad for me but I have to. Wala pa kasi akong tulog dun. Pero putragis, itong match na to, kalahati nito nagising ako. Ito to lang. Kalahati nito nagising ako. And I think the really good thing about Seth versus Drew, itong match na to, is on how this match went. Man. Sobrang clear. Walang cheating, walang ganyan. Walang mga cheap shots. Wala. Hindi mo siya makukuha dito. This match, if sa tingin mo, yun ang habol mo, mag-enjoy ka dito. Sa totoo lang. You will enjoy this more over the main event. Because, mamaya na natin pag-usapan yung main event. For now, let's address this. Seth Rollins versus Drew. Yung first 15 minutes, natulugan ko. Dahil ng lintik na tagal ng introduction sa itong buong show na to. Pero yun, Seth, Drew, ang masabi ko lang, easily may match of the night. Oo, easy match of the night ko siya. In a way, kasi sobrang smooth ng like yung mga pasahan nila, sobrang solid para sa akin. And yung continuity kasi, itong continuity kasi ng feud ni Seth sa Judgment Day, I think that was a chef's kiss. Pero dumagdag pa dito, Drew, mag-resign man siya sa WWE o hindi. I think si Drew kasi is one of the people that I think na pwede mong i-rely when it comes to working as best as they can and as soon as we can. Pero yun, that was a really good opening match. Nag-expect ako ng title change? Hindi. Siyempre. Given na yun. Pero, okay naman siya sa akin. Sa totoo lang. Pero, ang gusto ko kasi, gusto ko siguro mag-turn na siya, si Drew, in a way. Pero, nope. We still got a babyface versus babyface. Yung ganda kasi ng chemistry nila, sa totoo lang. And yung final few minutes, I think, solid. Para sa akin, easily match of the night ko to. Easily. Just amazing. Continuity. So, ito, may cash in attempt. So, syempre may attempt. So, Damian Priest made his entrance. And then, ready na siya mag-cash in. Tapos, may imatake sa kanya naka-hood. So, syempre, it was revealed as Sami Zayn and dinakaw niya yung briefcase. And then, si Seth, ayun, nakahinga. Pero ito, hindi ako fan ng ganitong approach sa cash-ins. At sa mga ganitong way of storylines when it comes to the Money in the Bank. Ako yung tao na hindi talaga fan ng ganun. Gusto ko pag Money in the Bank cash-in, wag ka nang mag-entrance. Like, don't do your fucking entrance, man. Just blindside the champion, hit your finisher, that's it. Ganun yung gusto kong cash-ins. Like, the biggest example of this, Edge. Pero Edge nag-entrance siya technically. Pero hindi ko na siya i-mekos-mekos dito. Siguro bigyan ko ng example. Si Jon Moxley. Yan. Best example. Ayun talaga, sobrang unpredictable ng cash-in. Kahit sobrang predictable yung win niya. On how he won, on how he won the title. Sobrang on the spot. Pero yung win niya, predictable pa din sa akin. Regardless on that. So, ito, set up na to for a heel turn between Drew, ayun kay Drew actually. Pero, Rhea Ripley walking in with Rhea. Pero yun nga, so Drew sitting backstage with Rhea. And then, sinabi niya, I told you so. And then she walked away. Magkakaroon na siya ng heel turn, for sure, si Drew. And I cannot wait to see that anytime soon. That's for sure, man. That's for sure. And then, second match of the night. So, syempre, Saudi ito. So, lahat dito covered, ha. Palala ko na. So, Raquel, Nia, Shayna, Zoe, and Rhea Ripley. Meron siyang special entrance. And the biggest reaction din for the woman sa buong card, for sure. So, karon dito, syempre, ng entrance sa si Nia. Ito, ang MVP ko dito, syempre si Rhea. Rhea yung MVP ko. Pero, the match was really okay. Hindi din siya exciting. Yun lang. The match was okay. Pero, I don't like the idea of 5 ways, 4 ways. I'm not a fan of it. Alam nyo, ewan ko kung totoo to. Pero the reason of this, meron kasing mga videos na kumakalat sa internet na kesyo during this match and the Io Sky Bianca Belair match, may mga tao na naglayasan through the arena dahil woman yung lumalaban. Siguro, binge kasi or Shahid, their WWE broadcaster, hindi sila nag-upload ng mga matches with women on it. Unless lalagyan nila ng palatandaan, no? Na may woman on it. Yung crowd, I think, they're not into it. Serial lang talaga, I think. And ito yung mga ganito, wala si story. Ito yung isa pang ayoko sa story na to. Serial lang yung may story sa lahat. Yun ang ayoko. Pucha. Obvious din naman siya. Right call din naman na si Rhea yung manalo. Pero wala eh. That was impressive, to be fair, on some people like Raquel. Sobrang impressive niya dito sa match to. Pero yeah, unpredictable as fuck. Predictable as fuck. Very predictable. Pero yan, let's continue. So si WWE, they announced basically a propaganda ads for their Saudi deal. Wala na, Saudi ya. Okay na yun. So, saan tawag dito? Saudi, basta yun, parang propaganda ad lang siya, basta. Yun. Then, yung NXT War Games or Survivor Series War Games, in-announce na rin siya on November 25 in the Philippines. It's November 26. At mapapanood nyo lang siya sa Pilipinas on Disney Plus, sa US on Peacock, sa ibang bansa. Maliban sa iba-ibang countries na may WWE deals, it's on the WWE Network. So let's continue. Tawag dito. So ayun, ito, Solo Sikoa versus John Cena. So syempre, ewan ko I'm reacting on this on several episodes na. Pero I don't get the hype or the logic why they are calling John Cena the greatest of all time. I know John Cena is the GOAT. Sure. Pero I don't like it. I don't like it. Hindi ko siya gusto. Kasi it's more on a marketing strategy rather than a real life idea. Na, sige, si John Cena greatest of all time natin yan. It's like saying Shane McMahon is the best in the world. Pero ang ang pangit niya sa pandinig ko na like ang daming pwedeng ituring na best in the world. Madaming wrestler na pwedeng ituring na best in the world except si CM Punk and Shane McMahon. Pero ang dami kasi pwedeng ituring na best in the world. This tagline is very subjective. Even people, hindi nila mahuhulaan kung sino ba talaga yung best in the world. Not WWE fans, not even AEW fans, not even me, not even the other podcasters na kilala nyo. Not even them. The only person who can determine who is the best in the world is themselves. Personally, in my opinion. Okay, let's continue. So, hindi pa rin ako natutuwa, syempre, sa greatest of all time logic nila. sobrang pagpo-promote naman kay Cena. Sobrang bitter ko doon in a way, yes. Pero hindi talaga ako natutuwa. Ayan, continue natin. So, Solo Sikoa versus John Cena. In my opinion, sobrang dominant ito. It's basically a glorified match na medyo may side si Cena. And to be fair, gusto ko bigyan ng credit si John Cena. Kasi he's doing the right thing here to put over some talents na sobrang younger current stars na nagra-rise. And ito yung gusto ko na i-brag talaga ni Paul Heyman at saka ni Solo for years to come. Yes, si Cena, he is trying to do the AA, pero di niya siya magawa anymore. Pero yes, tong win na to, sobrang big nito for Solo Sikoa. At least para sa akin, sobrang big nito, like holy hell. Like sobrang big nito para sa lahat. As in, sobrang huge nito for John Cena. For Solo as well. Sobrang huge nito. In real life, mataas ang respeto ni Solo tsaka ng buong bloodline kay Cena. You know, i-give naman in kayfabe. Pero ito, match na to, that was a really good match showing Solo Sikoa. And I think that's what I really love about this. Ayun. So, the match actually, nag-celebrate siya. Siyempre, bubu nyo yan. Pero ito, si Michael Cole, gusto ko i-take note. He did a really good job on commentary, talking about this could be one of the John Cena's last matches. Or nagbabato lang siya ng ideya na ganun, na ito na ba yung posibleng last match ni John Cena? Maraming napapaisip sa ganun, in a way, yes. Then, syempre, Cena slowly go back to his feet with the Saudi crowd giving him a standing reaction. Pero syempre, frustrating siya for sure. And sobrang nakakatuwa. Yes. Nag-thank you rin sa kanya yung crowd, lahat ng buong crowd. And Michael Cole, I think, putang ina. That was a really good way to put over Cena here. And it's like a WrestleMania way ba of loss para sa kanya. And on how they're presenting it, that was a really good, man. That was a really good one. Okay, so that was amazing. And then, hindi rin ibig sabihin ito na magti-take si Cena ng break. Kasi meron parang strike. Pero ito yung posibleng pwedeng tawag ba dito? Pwede nating sabihin na siguro babalik siya by Royal Rumble. Pero I don't think he will take a retirement na agad. So, masyado pang maaga. Ano? Sa akin lang, in my opinion ko lang kung magre-retire na ba si John Cena. May answer, not yet. Not yet. Meron pa siyang matches, yes. Pero bilang ko, mga hanggang WrestleMania 40 or after nun, maka 41, ganyan. Pero yung mga weekly basis like this or yung mga ganyan, I don't think susundan niya pa to. Unless may mangyari ulit. Malay nyo, may mangyari ulit, no? Wag naman sana. Grabe naman ako dun. Pero ayun na, continue nga natin. So, commercial aired for NXT Deadline on December 9. That will be the tawag dito? That will be the last PLE of the year for the whole WWE. And yung mga putang inang, unahan ko na kayo yung mga putang ina nyo. Kayo, yung mga nag-gatekeep dyan about sa mga pangalan ng pay-per-view o PLE. Wag kayong mangialam ha. Unang-una sa lahat, wag kayong mangingialam sa mga pangalan-pangalan na yan. In the end of the day, it's WWE's strategy on how they're going to brand their shows. Pay-per-view kasi, ang mga AEW pay-per-views kasi they're selling it on pay-per-view. On the other hand, WWE started to sell their shows less on pay-per-view as a separate show kasi may Peacock. So mas babayaran mo dito subscription. So may sense na tawagin siyang premium live events kasi mas binabayaran mo yung subscription and basically you're paying for the subscription and not for the show. Bonus na lang yung show actually. So they're calling it premium live events. So dapat nga nung may WWE Network pa tayo, Ganun na yung trato nila eh. Pero they're still calling it pay-per-views on some reason. Pero may sense yung premium live events. Kaya yung mga putragis na masyadong tangahin, mga tinatawag niyong premium live events, anong problema niya sa mga pagtawag ng premium live events? Eh, ganun din naman yun. Di ba? Pero ang difference kasi is, it's more on marketing and isa pang factor nun is the term din tsaka sa definition din sa role na yun, no? Pero regarding on that, gusto ko lang tawag dito? Ang gusto ko lang sabihin, mga putragis kayo, huwag kayong masyadong pakialamero. Hindi mo desisyon yan. At kaya huwag kang mangialam. Yun lang yun. Pero yun nga, commercial aired for NXT Deadline on December 9. So that will be the last PLE of 2023. Sana mapanood ko to. Kasi meron akong Christmas party sa company. Ayun. So, merong parating sa Saudi na WWE Experience. Oo. So, meron siyang parating. It's more on a facility with WWE merch, surprise appearances from superstars, and so much more. So, ito ay isang facility siya. Yes, it's more on a facility. Kung magkakaroon ng WWE Experience dito, guys, let me know, saan nyo gusto nyo ilagay ito? Iiwanan ko yung question sa Spotify o kaya sa social media. Iiwanan ko yung question kung magkakaroon ng WWE Experience sa Pilipinas. Saan nyo siya gusto ilagay? Ako, ideal ko lang ha. Gusto ko ilagay siya sa MOA. Why not? Diba? Ang MOA, hindi pa tapos yung buong expansion ng MOA. That would be great, actually, for MOA. Everything is possible actually when it comes to this. Accessibility-wise, MOA is definitely one of the best when it comes to it. Mega Mall, pwede rin Mega Mall. Pero mas safe choice ko kasi ang MOA. Kasi mas, mas malaki. Sa tingin ko kasi ang ganitong merch stuff when it comes to this WWE thing na itong Saudi na WWE Experience, mas safe siya sa Saudi. Sa mga mga lugar na sa tingin ko marketable ng WWE. Darating tayo dyan, panigurado. Pero kung ako tatanungin at magkakaroon ng WWE Experience, dapat magkaroon din sila dito sa Pinas and I think dapat sa MOA yun. Ito, pero okay, itong mga ganitong experience, mga bagay na dapat meron sa States o kaya sa Orlando na like pwede kayong maglagay ng Hall of Fame na lakaran, ganyan. And pero obvious din naman na sobrang happy ng WWE. Sobrang saya nila sa market nila at sa mga pinaggagawa nila sa Saudi. So that's why sila yung naunang magkaroon ng gantong experience. So to be fair, okay naman sa akin. Pero kung hindi lang matatapos sa Saudi itong experience na ito din goods. Sana magkaroon din sa Singapore o kaya sa PH, that will be great for MOA. Let me know then as well if kung saan nyo gusto ilagay yung WWE Experience. At babasahin natin yan next week. Ayan. So, continue natin. So, there's a Miss TV. Yung guest, may guest doon actually. So, it's Ibrahim Al-Haddad. I'm not sure how I pronounce it. Pero, ayun, sige. So, nagkaroon ng announcer. Ayun, pinot over siya ng mga announcers. That was a really good segment. And then, Grayson Waller interrupt. And he said that they need an actual talk show for him. And then, tinawag niya yung set. Pero Miz, kinontra siya. Kinontra niya si Miz or si Grayson Waller on this. And then, si Ibrahim, he chose Miss TV. And sinasabi niya, Miss TV was better. So, he started to disrespect him. Yes. So, Waller kicked him out of the ring. And then, he threw him out of the apron. Then, Miz saved him. And then, he hits him with a skull-crushing finale. And then, si Ibrahim, ayan. Okay, ito to be fair ha. Ito yung remake nila nung kay Snoop Dogg sa WrestleMania. And I think this was successful. I think on the way in the way they executed this segment, feeling ko sobrang successful na. Sobrang nagustuhan ko in a way yung segment kasi aside sa pang crowd siya, number 1. Number 2, sobrang entertaining ni Ibrahim. Yung presentation pa lang sobrang entertaining niya as hell. Kaya hindi tumagal yung kanyang talk time. Pero sobrang entertaining niya on paper. Gusto ko siya panoorin ulit pagkatapos nito. So, yung mga shows niya gusto ko panoorin kasi wala pala siya sa Disney Plus. Nasa Shahid lang pala. Pero yun, that was it. That was a really good segment for Miz and for the Saudi crowd. So, like what I said, si Miz nag-turn na siya last Monday and that was a cementing basically the face turn. And si Ibrahim, sobrang alam mo yun, sobrang galing ng skill niya dito. We can say na tawag dito, parang solid siya na segment in a way na we can pause for a moment at least. It's basically an intermission, ganyan. Basically parang sa mga MWF shows ba na merong mga pauses like 15 minutes intermission then continue with the action. I'm really good with this type of segments. Parang pawalang umay ba sa mga matches na mauumay ka. Unlike AEWs, yung mga AEWs kasi wala na ngang commercial, wala na ngang time magpahinga sa mga segments. Tapos ito, medyo sobrang mag-chill ka lang at least mga 5 minutes ganyan dahil sa mga ads. At sometimes goods din naman ako dun. So, wala siyang issue. Basically, it's a break. So, parang intermission lang siya. That's it. So, ito, Logan Paul versus Rey Mysterio. So, Logan Paul won his first championship in the WWE. And I think that was a really good match for Logan Paul. Definitely, ito yung sa tingin ko best match ni Logan Paul so far. Or second to the best at least. Baka mamaya sabihin nyo ako masyado ako sugarcoating. But definitely one of the best matches ni Logan Paul on his career. Dito for sure, 8 matches. So definitely we can define that. Pero yun, ang problema ko lang with this, minsan hindi sila magkasundo. Ayun, muntikan na nga ma-injure actually si Rey. Pero buti na lang nasalo siya ni Logan Paul. And instead nagawa niya yung power slam. So, yung mga fans dyan nagkakaroon ng discussion on sino ba yung may kasalanan. And based to my eyes, actually, it's Rey's. Actually, hindi niya nasaktuan si Logan Paul. Masyado siya malaki. Yun lang sa akin. At least yun lang sa akin. Hindi niya lang nakot si Rey. Si Dom. Hindi niya nakot si Rey. Kasi masyado siyang maliit. Pero yung save ni Logan Paul, yung improvised save niya, that was a really good solid way on how to counter it. And like, I'm impressed. I'm really big. I want to give really a big respect kay Logan Paul regarding on that. Pero yun, yung end dito, cliched, syempre. So yun, a friend of Logan Paul, he handed him a brass knuckles. Then, distracted na yung referee. Then, Santos Escobar came to stop the brass knuckles usage. And then, parang iniwan ni Santos yung brass knuckles on purpose sa ring. And then, he chased Logan Paul's friend. And then, yun, sinet up niya 619. And then, nakabalik siya yung kanyang typical finish for the 619. And he punched Rey Mysterio with the brass knucks and he got the win. Pero yun, pucha. That was a really good match for me and sobrang interesting kasi one, Logan Paul definitely can bring the stocks to the WWE kahit paano sa mga ganyan. And number 2, yung kay Santos kasi, yung usage, parang intentional niya bang binato yung brass knuck sa ring? And then, parang on purpose siya. Obviously, follow-up siya syempre. Pero sana mag-lead siya sa something. Sana, I know it's WWE. WWE is very into continuity din naman lately. So, ang gagawin lang nila dito, itutuloy nila to o parang let's pretend na walang nangyari. Pero for sure, may continuity to. Regarding on that, Logan Paul and Rey, sobrang solid, alam mo yan. That was a really good way on how they executed it. And Rey Mysterio is very given. Sobrang galing na Rey. Sobrang, kahit 50 plus na siya, man, that was a really good way. And the entire change was given. Pero napapaisip ako on how they are going to use Logan Paul with the championship more. Yun ang sigurado ko. Yun ang gusto kong abangan and gusto kong malaman din. Like what I said, natutuwa ako kay Logan Paul. He deserves it. In a way, yes. And that was a really good way on how they presented Logan Paul right now. Okay, so they announced the Elimination Chamber Premier Live event is heading obviously to Perth, Australia. Yes, may event na tayo na aabot sa gabi at sa oras natin. Pabor yan. And then, in-announce nila yung ticket. Ibebenta nila yun this Friday. And for sure, there's gonna be sell fast as fuck. Then, ito na nga. So, Bianca Belair versus Io Sky and the crowd goes mild. Sandali lang. Ayun. So, continue natin. Bianca Belair versus Io Sky. So, Bianca looks confident as usual. Bago naman to. And, the crowd, nope. Ayun. So, they had a really good match last May. And, alam mo yun? Boy, that was a really good match last May sa Backlash. Pero ito kasi ang problema ngayon, wala. Wala talaga reaction yung crowd. Unlike, that's why I can say na Puerto Rico crowd definitely owns the kick this year. When it comes to this year's PLEs with foreign grains on it, definitely Puerto Rico goes with the best crowd so far. Pero the match itself between Io Sky and Bianca Belair, I can say that was not bad. Pero hindi ko masabi na kaya nilang igitan yung sa Backlash. No, that was worse. This is worse for sure. Eto, pero ang interesting lang naman dito, so basically, sino nga tawag dito? So basically, Kairi Sane made her return for the first time since 2021. And then to save Bailey, basically. And then, tawag dito, she hits a spin punch on Belair. And then she hits a knee smash as well. And then, they're looking for Io Sky habang ginagawa niya yun. Belair goes into ring. And Io Sky goes to the top and hits the moonsault for the win. Okay, so match na to, para sa akin lang, medyo na-drag siya ng konti. Medyo na-drag siya ng konti in a bit. Pero this match, hindi nila nahigitan yung nangyari sa Backlash. Pero hindi talaga para sa crowd ng Saudi tong match na to. I think I have to say this, pero hindi siya pang Saudi crowd for sure. Pero yun, yung reaction, wala. Wala talaga. Wala talaga silang pak. And also, medyo na-feel ko din na medyo na-drag yung match in a bit. And, ayun. As usual, ito yun din yung second match with the cheap heel ending. And I'm kinda didn't like it. Ewan ko, pero si Triple H gusto niya yung mga ganitong booking yan. And there will be a third one later. Unfortunately. Okay. Continue natin. So, Io Sky puts Belair in the position and Kairi Sane puts her into an insane elbow. That was impressive as always. And then Cole mentioned that the last time we saw Kairi Sane, she was taken out by Bailey. So medyo interesting na nag-go back sila sa history na yon. Hindi na namin na-mention si Mercedes, of course. They won't. Pero yun nga, welcome back Kairi Sane. That was a really good thing here. And a story nito basically, yes, eto na nga, sinasabi ko to noong past lane pa. Pero dinadrag nila masyado yung pag-end ng tawag dito. Masyado nilang dinadrag yung story na split for damage control. Pero ang weird din. Pero ito, like what I said, ang assurance ko dito is hindi gusto ni Io Sky na binaboss siya ni Bailey. And so medyo ang kayfabe dito is Io Sky called Kairi Sane. And ito na nga talaga yung end ng damage control for sure. Pero if ito turn niyo si Bailey into to babyface, this is something that I don't really like for sure. Ayun. And then isa pang bagay na medyo hindi ko gusto sa match na to. Number one, hindi talaga gusto ng tao yung match na to. Pero si Damian Priest made this entrance as the tag champions. Wala yung Money in the Bank. Pero syempre, ninakaw yun ni Sami Zayn. And then, si Cody, nakakuha siya ng pop as usual. Pero ewan ko. Sorry. Sorry for that. May apologies. Ayun. So, continue natin. Ewan ko. Ayun. Let's continue. So, itong match na to, ewan ko, parang ito yung nag-drag parang on paper, parang ang haba niya. Oo, sorry. Yan. So, on paper, parang ang haba niya, pero ang ikli lang pala. Nung napanood ko siya, nung chinek ko yung duration sa Wikipedia, o sa kung saan man, parang ang ikli niya. Ang ikli niya lang. Pero, parang nung papanoorin mo siya, ang haba, sobra. That was 11 minutes and 8 seconds. Pero obviously, that was a really good match. Pero, I guess, okay lang. Okay lang din. That was a really understandable here. So, Cody winning, kinda understandable. And obviously, yung pagpasok nila, Damian Priest, dito yung mga members pa ng Judgment Day, it may lead to a War Games match between the Raw guys. Pero marami pa naman posibleng pwede mangyari. Baka mamaya, men's Raw versus SmackDown na naman to lahat. No? Pero yan, regarding Cody, always really good thing here. And they're saying that si Michael Cole or si Cody is pabalik na sa kanyang story. Ewan ko ba kung ano bang story itong pinaggagawa nila. Hindi rin ako sure. Kasi out of touch na sila doon sa story. Ang dami ng sidelines ni Cody. Ang dami ng sideline ni Cody. Pero kaya hindi ako sure kung anong story yung pinaglalaban nila dito. Ayun. Continue natin. So here, wait lang. I was trying to check pa. So the main event obviously, and the show is 3 hours into the show at this point. So Cody, tapos na. So yun na nga, ang main event natin obviously, so Roman Reigns versus LA Knight. Sobrang over niya, man. Like, sobrang over ni LA Knight dito sa entrance na to, sa match na to. As in, sobrang definitely over niya. Like, everyone is cheering, yeah, or cheering LA Knight. Mas malala pa to kay Sami. Mas malala pa to kay Sami Zayn sa Canada, nung Elimination Chamber. But yes, eto. So, Roman obviously, entrance always. Halos 1 taon bago matapos yung entrance. Pero si Byron Saxton pa rin, MVP. That was a really good ring introductions for the main event, as always. And then, ito na nga. Roman versus LA Knight. The match, in my opinion, is great. It was a really good match, I admit. Parang perfect na pang pay-per-view lang. Pero hindi ko talaga masasabi na sobrang ganda. Sakto lang. Kung i-rate ko lahat ng mga matches sa buong defense na to ni Roman this year, so basically, 4 lang. So there's Sami, there's the KO, then Cody, tapos Jey Uso. Yun na yan. So basically, kung i-rank ko to, siguro second to the last. Second to the last. Pero yan, medyo na-overuse na ako sa mga finish ng lahat ng matches ni Roman lately. So it's either Solo, Jay, or Jimmy distracting the opponent and then mag-hit siya ng spear. Medyo cliche na siya sa akin. I'm not very used to it and I'm a fan of it either. Pero they're doing it later. Sobrang gasgas. Sobrang gasgas na ng mga finish na to lately. And kung impressed ba ako? Hindi. Pero that was a really good match. Yung mga ganong tactic, medyo nasusuya na ako in a win. Medyo nasusuya na ako. That's the term. Nasusuya. And that was a very typical Roman Reigns match na nakita na natin sa loob ng 1 taon mahigit. And sobrang repetitive niya. I think, ngayon ko, ang way kasi on how they presented this is very well done, actually. Pero, Jimmy Uso saving Roman in a way, just very part of the cliche din. Yun na masasabi ko. And, parang, as always, papatulong siya sa bloodline. So, pero, sobrang gasgas na nito. Umabot na tayo sa punto na nagsasawa na yung lahat. I like this match, to be fair, because that was a really good match. Pero, sobrang gasgas na nung mga pinaggagawa nila. Like, LA Knight almost getting the win with the BFT. Jey Uso or Jimmy Uso saves Roman, and then here's the distraction. Roman gets the win with the spear. That's it. Sobrang nagiging gasgas na siya at this point. Pero to be fair, I want to give LA Knight his flowers kasi at this point, we can say that he is a main event talent na. I can say main event talent na siya at this point. And ito na rin yung sa tingin ko pwede magpasabi na main event na ba to? Okay. O yun lang. Parang yun lang yung impression ko. It's very cliche na. Pero I think people will like it at some point. Pero yung mga iba naman dyan na medyo mas magaling mag-analyze, di nila magugustuhan to. Kasi walang mga pile driver, walang super kick. So maybe di nila magugustuhan to. The joke lang. Pero overall, like what I said, Crown Jewel, tumakbo siya for 3 hours and 37 minutes. And Roman not competing for Survivor Series. Nah. I didn't like it. Pero okay. Obviously, mga MVP natin for this show. It's always Seth. Obviously, Seth. Definitely MVP ko. And then, Drew. Drew din. Tsaka si Solo. Definitely, 3 of them MVP. Pero, ang pag-uusapan natin kung ano bang rating ko dito sa buong show na to, ito na lang ibibigay ko. Hindi ko na ibibigay yung buo. Yung rating ko in the whole show is, I think, at least 7 or 6.5. That was very fast lane plus payback. Pero ginawa mo sa Saudi, kaya malaking bagay kasi may crowd. Pero, basically, that was the payback. Pero ginawa mo sa Saudi. Yan lang yun. That's not a bad pay-per-view. To be fair, Fastlane is bad. Bad is bad for sure. Pero okay, yung star power mas madami. Pero wala kasing nag-stand out overall aside from Seth, Drew. Pero Drew kasi turning niya din for sure. At LA Knight versus Roman, it's very cliched at this point. Sobrang cliched. Si Kyrie lang yung exciting part dito. Logan Paul was very win, pero sobrang fit kasi yon sa character niya. So I'm really good to it. Ito yung kasi yung sa tingin ko na bagay na bagay sa character niya. That was the Logan Paul win to me. Pero they can use kasi this match as more on a marketing strategy para mas ma-market pa yung WWE. So regarding on that, so Solo decimating Cena, I really like it. Sobrang they presented Solo here dominant as fuck. So that's why I really like it. Pero overall, Crown Jewel, I can say this is not as bad as Fastlane. Mas maganda to sa Fastlane. Mas maganda to sa Fastlane. Pero Crown Jewel, I think you're enough with Teka. I think enough pa talaga dito ka 7 or 6.5. 6.5 or 7. Good sa to. Yun lang. So, that's it for our Crown Jewel 2023 review. Kung umabot ka dito sa part ng episode na to, let me know bago tayo magpatuloy. And I hope you can follow and support the show on all of the social media platforms at the MTG Show Pod. So, tuloy-tuloy tayo with our review. For now, we're just going to take a short break for now. And I hope you can check all of our shows here on Bang Collective.
Annyeong, we are One to Sarang,
your next favorite Hallyu podcast.
We talk K-drama.
Mandaming kilig every time
we
K-drama. We also talk K-pop.
Yung feeling ko sa 17 na they bring me so much happiness.
And we live to entertain.
What you gonna do when Dicky Steak in front of
Check us out now on Spotify and Apple Podcasts.
Also on YouTube. Join us sa tawanan at kwentuhan from One to Sarang.
Hey everyone, this is Mo Twister, and you're listening to the Kingdom Podcast with the voice, DJ Yuki.
That was the OG, Mo Twister, promoting this podcast. If you like Korean pop culture, or know someone who does, then get into it, and visit our Facebook, Twitter and Instagram pages at the Kingdom Pod PH.
We're proud to tell you that this is one of the premier shows to go to for your weekly dose of K-pop. So drop everything, and listen to the Kingdom Podcast. Available in all your podcast streaming platforms.
Join us!
Okay, so we're back on the show. So katatapos lang ng Crown Jewel review natin. So kung di nyo nagustuhan yung Crown Jewel, ako din. Same lang. Joke lang. Sakto lang sa akin Crown Jewel. That was a really good bad pay-per-view. For sure. Pero yan, continue natin. So, ito yung mga show. Sorry. Sorry. Pero itong show na to, itong episode na to, ng Raw, paspasin na natin. I-mekos-mekos na lang natin to. Kasi, it's basically a go-home show for Crown Jewel. So, this match, I think, that was a really good match. Pero ang sigurado ko dito si Dom, sobrang solid pa din ni Dom. Pero putragis. At this point natatawa talaga ako kay Dom. Pero sure ako si Rhea magto-turn to into babyface at some point. Or yung buong Judgment Day at some point slowly. Pero for sure si Rhea yung magto-turn dito. Anyways, this match, the Creed brothers are making their debut sa Raw. And they are fighting Alpha Academy here. And man, this match was so good as fuck. Para sa akin, ang match ito yung sa tingin ko na mag-grow pa sa kanila panigurado. And then, yung pagpapakita nila ng match na to, and that was a really good way on their end here. That was a really good shit. Para sa akin, ang ganda nitong match na to. Buong match na to, that was so good. And ang gusto ko kasi dito sa ganitong face-to-face tag team open challenge stuff na to, It's very different kumpara sa mga open challenge sa AEW. Yes, wala siyang story obviously. Because it's a fucking open challenge. Come on. Wag itong ikumpara sa mga title matches ng AEW na walang ka-story-story. Ito kasi I understand kasi open challenge siya. Pero pag Tyro challenge kasi na open challenge, hindi ko siya gusto na open challenge siya. Unless it's open challenge talaga. Pero ito, maganda to. Sobrang ganda ng match na to. Julius Creed, like, that was amazing. That was a holy shit moment. Like, sobrang impressive ni Julius Creed as always. At siya yung isa sa mga gusto ko talaga when it comes to this stable sa Creed Brothers. And yung pag-present nila sa, matawag dito. Yung pag-present nila dito sa Creed's, yes, that was amazing. Nakakatawa din kasi Tozawa at some point is kinda being part of Alpha Academy na rin or Alpha Academy. Yes, that was amazing dito too. And that was impressive. Si Julius, like, holy man, that was impressive. Si Ivy Nile suplexing Tozawa. That was amazing too. Pero continue natin. So DIY fought Imperium, pero before that, Gunther decided to make an appearance. Pero wow, Miz here and Gunther, just amazing as fuck. They are insulting both of them. Like, that was amazing. Holy fuck. Holy man. Miz definitely cut one of his best promos here for sure. Pero I think that was a really good presentation for Miz either. Like, wow, that was a really good way to turn Miz into a babyface. Like, it's kind of forced at first some, pero solid pa din. Regarding solid pa din. Pero yun, sobrang on point ito. DIY versus Imperium, that was entertaining match as well. Holy man, that was a really good. Okay, let's continue here. So, abang continue din natin dito. Si Vinci, they are always as fuck when it comes to this. And that's the one plus that I can consider him. Okay. So, Candice LeRae versus Xia Li. Tawag dito. Natawa ako habang nag-e-entrance si Candice LeRae. They are messing up. They are messing up Candice LeRae here. It's kind of funny for some, pero sorry. Ayan, may problema talaga sa setup ko lately. Pero ayan, hayaan nyo na. Ayan. So, Michael Cole messed up Candice LeRae big time here. It's kind of funny for some, pero sa iba hindi rin nakakatawa. Pero yan, legitimate injury siya possibly. Pero, ewan ko, sana kayfabe lang to and sana Candice can recover as soon as possible. Pero okay. So, Seth Rollins versus JD McDonough. Okay, I not gonna lie, that was a really good match for sure. And the presentation for Drew is just convincing. They're more hitting convincing stuff here. Pero sana mas convincing pa sa nangyari sa Crown Jewel for sure. Okay. Continue natin. So, Damian Priest versus Sami Zayn. This match, that was very, I'm just sobrang overused na ako sa mga ganitong segment. Like, I'm not, ay nako. Ay nako. Parang nakakabuisit. Pero yan lang naman. Overhaul this week's Raw. Not bad. Pero yun, tag team this week definitely sobrang solid as well. And Chelsea Green, sa tingin ko, man, Chelsea Green is just impressing me as well. Di ko na nasama sa review, pero they are costuming Natalia and Jimmy Hart, Neidhart here. Wow, that was impressive as well. Yan lang. So, yun lang for NXT. Ayoro. NXT, ito ang highlight nila dito basically was basically Kelani Jordan and Lola Vice fighting for the Women's Breakout Tournament. And okay, so the main event here was the Ilya versus Carmelo Hayes. Okay, so Creed Brothers versus Angel and Humberto. Man. Sa tingin ko, that was a really good, impressive match. Opener here. And for sure, ito na rin yung end nila for NXT for now. And it can be the way then para kina Angel and Humberto to challenge for the NXT Tag Titles. That will be great for sure. Sa tingin ko, sobrang importante nito. And that was a really good, solid here match. Nasa tingin ko. That will be a great one. Okay. Continue natin. So, Tiffany Stratton and Fallon Henley hindi natuloy. Hindi natuloy yung match nila basically. And I think that was impressive. Yun lang. That was impressive. Yan, sobrang impressive niya in a way. Na sa tingin ko, sayang, sobrang sayang. Gusto ko sana mangyari yung Tiffany versus Fallon Henley. And then, ayun lang. Sayang. Pero madidelay siya sadly. Pero sure ako, si Fallon Henley, masasabi ko lang, kailangan niya kailangan niya na bigyan ng moment si Fallon Henley for sure. And that's the thing that I need to look forward here on Fallon for sure. Lalo't solo na siya ulit. Si Tiffany Stratton at this point, Braun Breaker spot na siya. And, ayun. May kailangan lang siya gawin or something. Yan lang. Okay. Continue natin. Ano pa ba? Dominic Mysterio versus Nathan Frazer. That was, I think, impressive. Oo, that was impressive. And then, Wesley made his return. And, sobrang exciting talaga pag nandito si Dom sa NXT. That was a really good match. Sa totoo lang. Dom appearing on NXT more here. Man. It's more convincing at this point. And Mysterio appearing to NXT more. Sa tingin ko, kaya magpa-enhance o magpahinog sa kanya mas malala. Kaya okay ako with Dom appearing on NXT. Mas maganda pa nga na weekly sana. No? Then Braun Breaker versus Mr. Stone. Why we're getting this match? Bakit may ganito? Boy. That was bad. And then, okay, so Laria Barqueria. That was a really good promo after to. Yan lang. Then, ano pa ba? Women's Tag Title. So we have Chelsea Green and Piper Niven versus JC Jane and Tia Hale. Alam nyo, Tia Hale and JC Jane. I think JC Jane joining Chase U is one of the things na hindi ko ma-imagine. Pero ang ganda ng way na to, na dinefend siya in a competitive title defense. I think sobrang, in a way, sobrang effective niya. At ito, first time nagkaroon ng title defense na ganito kaganda. Sorry about that. In a way, ito yung first time na nagkaroon ng defense na ganito kaganda sa lahat ng shows, pay-per-views, PLEs, shows, Raw, SmackDown. Pero that was a really good thing here. Solid. And I'm glad na nare-restore na yung reputation niya as Piper Niven. Oh, that was really good. And, okay. Yun lang. That was a really good match. Yun lang. Masasabi ko. Then, the finals for the Women's Breakout. Sa tingin ko, hindi ko in-expect na si Lola Vice yung mananalo. Kasi I was thinking na Tama dito? Sa tingin ko kasi Kelani Jordan is the one who is earning my respect so far over Lola. Pero marami pa siyang kailangan i-prove to si Lola para ma-convince tayo na breakout star talaga siya. Pero Kelani, mas convincing kasi siya na siya yung manalo. And ang weird kasi Lola Vice won this match. Very limited. Pero Kelani Jordan, very impressive. I wish siya yung manalo ng Iron Survivor Challenge sa moments. And matalo si Lola sa match niya for the breakout. Yun lang. That was, yun lang. Main event. So, Ilya Dragunov versus Carmelo Hayes. Thank you very much, NXT, for uploading this match for free sa YouTube. So, sa tingin ko, tong match na to, hindi man siya yung kagandahan na sobra. Pero, I think this is my least favorite among the trilogy. Pero regarding on that, this feud so far, sobrang solid between Trick Williams and Carmelo Hayes. They're building up a really good feud so far. And, okay. Pero, I cannot wait to see how Trick Williams and Carmelo Hayes will explode here at some point. I cannot wait to see that soon for sure. Marami pang pwedeng mangyari sa mga shows na to. At marami pang pwedeng mangyari here. And definitely, okay naman. Ang abangan na lang natin dito, Trick and William. Man. Trick and William. Melo and William. Trick Williams. I cannot wait to see them explode anytime soon. And overall, the match was impressive ito, pero hindi ko masasabing best match to ng feud nila. Pero, sorry. Pero I think mas okay pa din yung nangyari sa Habok. Ay, yung pangalawang match na lang. Yung ibang pay-per-view. Nakalimutan ko ng pay-per-view. Sorry guys. Pero I think the second match of their feud, I think that was better more than this. Pero okay. Regarding on that, this match, pero mas okay pa din yung week 1, I think. Steady lang din yung mga segments dito. And the stakes sobrang high para sa akin. And that was great for sure for NXT. And ang maganda kasi for NXT, I really love about NXT here, is they are keeping the vibe of the shows, every show. Sobrang consistent and sobrang fun ng shows nila pagdating sa mga ganitong stories. And that's what I really like about here. So yung mga Tyro picture, may mga new stories na. Papunta na rin tayo sa susunod na show, which is Deadline on December 9. And for sure, marami pa tayong aabangan. And Trick Williams and Carmelo Hayes for sure, marami pa tayong aabangan. And ano pa ba? Yung Iron Survivor Challenge for women, marami tayong kailangan i-look forward dito. Like si Kelani Jordan, mga veterans, basically JC Jane, most likely she will join. Mga pwedeng abangan dito for sure. Like may mga women pa like Becky, malay niyo sumali si Becky, no? Pero yes, NXT definitely the best show in the WWE scene so far. And not even close for sure. Not close for sure. Mm-hmm. Pero yun lang naman. Regarding on that, ano pa ba? Ano pa pwede natin pag-usapan? So SmackDown, wala man kailangan ma-miss sa SmackDown, guys. Kung gusto niyo ko tanungin kung anong thoughts ko sa SmackDown, yung promo ni Cena kay Solo Sikoa, that was impressive. Pero regarding on that, okay lang I guess. Okay lang. Pero overall, di ko naman siya kailangan i-mention sa inyo yung mga nangyari. It's basically a tape show and okay lang I guess. Okay lang. Pero ito, gusto ko muna sabihin na in-announce ng Impact that Trinity will fight Jordan Grace for the women's title at Hard to Kill for the Impact Knockouts women's title. Hard to Kill pay-per-view with the first TNA branding again on their show. And sobrang interesting din sa akin na lumaban dito si si Simon Miller na hindi ko matanda kung saan yung affiliation niya, what culture pa din ata siya. Pero hindi ko na i-recap yung buong show na to. I think regarding on that, Will Ospreay versus Eddie Edwards was really good. Okay, Dynamite, final segment of the show. So Dynamite, Orange Cassidy versus Claudio Castagnoli. This match, I admit, was a really good match for sure. I think yung post-match between Jon Moxley and Jon Moxley versus OC, I cannot wait to see them war here. And the Full Gear, I think that will be a packed show as well for sure for all of them. Pero ayan, OC versus Claudio, that was a really steady match. Sobra solid for sure. Pero okay, continue natin. So, ang gusto ko kasi, personal lang ang gusto ko sa BCC, wala silang roles kung face pa sila or heels. Like on Collision, they are faces. ang weird nun. Pero they are faces. Then on Dynamite, they are heels, especially with OC here. Pero I wish na ganito yung magandang roles na gusto ko mangyari, and I'm glad they're doing that. And they're good at it. So then, Brian Cage and Gates of Agony are once again the tag champions. Pero okay, I'm good with it. Pero feeling ko they are saving or they are seeding something here. Like, maybe Young Bucks heel turn. Mag-turn sila dito panigurado. Pero okay, that was a really good thing here. Yan lang. Then Adam Copeland, that was a letdown. Sorry guys, ito sobrang letdown na. Obvious naman si Copeland yung magiging third guy. Medyo obvious sa akin na si Adam Copeland yung magiging third guy dito. It's very given. And okay. Okay lang. Pero sana mag-deliver na lang. Yun na lang masasabi ko. Yun lang talaga masasabi ko. Here we go. Guys. Whew. Alam nyo ba yung announcement ni Tony Khan this week on Dynamite? Oh boy. I was saving my laugh here for 4 days now, and for fuck's sake, why are they doing this? Hindi ko pa nasasabi yung headline, natatawa na ako. Ayoko na, Tony. Alam mo yun, itong mga ganitong announcements. It's very WCW. Naiiyak na ako, putang. Ano ba yan? Pero seryoso ka? Tony, usap nga tayo. Pare, usap tayo. Hindi ko kaya pigilin yung tawa ko. Ano ba yan? So... Hindi ko kaya pigilin. Okay, so that announcement is all-in tickets are for sale starting December 1. That's 9 months before the show. Seryoso? I have to store my shit here. Wait for. Okay. Kahit pa paano okay na ako. Pero, seryoso. Ito na yung announcement. Ito na. Sure? Sure? Putang ina. Man, for real, I am expecting a pay-per-view or a new matchup or maybe streaming service deal for AEW. But boy, hindi ko matiis. Hindi ko matiis. At hindi po scripted yung tawa ko. Like, for real. That was the best Tony Khan announcement here. Bravo. Wala akong masabi sa'yo, Tony Khan. Putragis ka. And Ayun na. Sige, magmumuna tayo. So, sinabi ni Tony here that the tickets will be sale by December 1 and the pre-sale sign-ups are for now. Available na siya now. And that's it. Putang ina mo, Tony Khan. At masabi ko lang, ayoko na reviewin yung the rest ng AEW show. Sorry. Itong mga ganitong announcement na to, last thing na lang. Before we move on, putang ina, pa-email mo na nga lang to. Di, ito seryoso I'm not, I don't have problems with these announcements popping up like candies. Wala akong problema. Like, wala akong complaint sa iba niyang announcement, but this announcement must be the most ridiculous announcement here. Like, WWE is not doing this shit. Like, hindi siya ina-announce agad on TV. They're doing it sa social media. And they can use their social media better than this. That was a bad segment. And mga ganitong announcement, dapat mga email na lang to, yung mga batawag dito, mga email, o ilagay nyo na lang sa mga tawag dito. Just focus the shit on the emails or social media. Okay na yun. Kaysa wag na yung mga nakakabuisit. Sobrang nakakabuisit. Okay, so MJF story, last thing. Ewan ko. AEW is continuously persuading way or frustrating me a lot of times. Ito yung company na sinasabi na akala ko ba na tawag dito? Akala ko ito yung magiging alternative kasi ang daming mga stars na lalabas. Pero putragis, yung mga tumatanda yung pinapapasok niya palagi. At saka Tony, yung mga creative niya, like yung mga creative shit niya, wala na siyang direction. Like, sobrang bullshit. As in, Tony, I hope that you're listening to this show. And I hope you're taking notes of every show that you're doing on your own way. And I hope you're thinking as well. Smart. Kasi you are the owner of your own company. Pero I hope that Tony can magkaroon siya ng self-awareness na yung mga bagay-bagay na hindi na natin masagot because of his lunatic attitude. Mga bagay-bagay na ganito. Kagaya nito, yung mga announcement very unnecessary. Pwede mo naman i-email. I know Tony is very vocal na dapat pag TV dapat yung mga ganitong announcement parang WCW. Tsaka yung new era niya, yun totoo. Puro patandaan ba? From Edge to Ric Flair. Who's next? Hulk Hogan? New era pala. Tapos, pwede mo pang ipasok si Eric Bishop. Mag-ayos nga lang kayo. Si Hulk Hogan, ganun din. Huwag ka nang mahiya. Ipasok mo na rin si ano dyan. Kung may mga buhay pang mga wrestler dyan before, like si Rikishi, pasok mo na din. Kung gusto mo. Kung gusto mo, sino bang mas matandang active? Sino ba inisip ko? Jeff Jarrett ando na sa company. Kaya puro patandaan talaga eh. Tingnan mo. To be fair, AEW still AEW. Patandaan talaga. Pero at this point, Tony Khan is just turning me off. At this point. On the show, man. On all of these shows, as in. Ayokong sabihin ito, pero on the way they are approaching this thing, it's just one of the reasons I should turn off AEW shows for now. Nata-turn off ako. Yun ang gusto ko sabihin. May mga matches naman na sobrang gustong-gusto ko. Pero on the way he acts, on the way he do shit, that's the one that turns me off. Sobrang turn off yan. And hindi ko alam ba't nagugustuhan ng mga fans. At sobrang nakakatawa. Tony Khan, it's very, very at this point, sumasakit na yung ulo ko. Sumasakit na yung ulo ko sa pagtatanong lang kay Tony Khan. Pero sige, one thing good for Tony Khan shows this weekend, ito yun, Vikingo versus Penta versus Commander. That was a really good match. Kung papanoorin kayo sa Rampage, ito, panoorin nyo to. Yun lang. Continue natin. So, tawag dito. Ano pa ba pwede natin pag-usapan? So, basically, wala na. Yan lang. Wala na. Wala naman ako kailangan ma-miss dito. Sa totoo lang. Yun lang. Good lang talaga. Wala na talaga ako kailangan ma-miss dito. Pero regarding on this show, overall, tawag dito. Yun lang. Yan lang talaga. Wala na akong kailangan sabihin dito. Sa tingin ko, this week of wrestling, it's either naka-focus tayo sa Crown Jewel o sa announcement ni Tony Khan. And I hope huwag na madagdagan yung mga announcement na. Wisit. Ayun na lang. So, maggawa na lang tayo ng pick of the week natin bago tayo matapos sa episode na to this week. So, may match of the week here. So, I'm choosing Drew versus Seth from Crown Jewel. Tsaka yung Carmelo Hayes versus Ilya from NXT Halloween Havoc Week 2. Isa pa na pwede kong i-pick sa match was the Will Ospreay versus Eddie Edwards. That was a really good match from Turning Point. And yun lang. Match of the week ko yun. Then, mga superstar of the week natin, superstar of the week, it's definitely Seth Rollins. I have to give it to Seth this week. Then, woman of the week, I'm torn between Kairi Sane and Sky Blue. Ayan, Kairi Sane and Sky Blue. Medyo hati sila sa akin ngayon. So, ayun, yun lang naman para sa mga picks of the week ko for this week. And patapos na tayo sa week na to. So, gusto ko nang i-announce that I'll be go to MWF Noche Buena. So, kung gusto nyo manood ng MWF Noche Buena, pumunta na lang kayo sa social media ng MWF, that's ManilaWrestling.com. And you can follow them, all of the social media platforms at MWF Manila Wrestling Federation or sa MWF ManilaWrestling.com. Ayun, pwede nyo panoorin pa yung mga matches. Ayun, panoorin nyo na rin pala mamaya yung Cristo versus Fabio MWF Championship match. It was a really good match. Totoo lang. Yun, FPW, napanood ko din yung Yapi versus Nina from FPW Astig. So, kung gusto nyo manood ng FPW Astig, sa YouTube naman yun. Kung gusto nyo panoorin. And yung kay David Rabena tsaka kay Rasael tawag dito, yung show nila na na-upload sa Facebook, deliver nila yon ng Dexcon. So thank you Dexcon for that. So syempre panoorin niyo yon, Dexcon. That was a really good segment and that's a really good clips for the wrestling na sobrang interesting. Tsaka yung match doon, hindi ko tanda kung sino yung lumaban, sorry guys, pero that was a really good match too. Cinematic siya, obviously. That was I think the first cinematic match na napanood talaga natin aside from, I don't count Ken Warren versus Jomar Lewanag as a cinematic match. Sorry. Hindi ko siya makakount as cinematic for sure. Pero ito, that was a really good cinematic match. Yun. So yun lang. Final plug na lang natin yung Top Go or yung Blast TV. So, ayun nga, syempre, wala naman sponsorship plug ito. Ba yan? Nasabi ko rin ng maganda. So, hindi siya sponsored, pero Blast, ayan, gusto nyo mag-subscribe, makapanood kayo dyan ng WWE shows. Weekly yan sa Top Sports. Tsaka may VOD din sila weekly sa lahat ng platform nila yon, like Raw, SmackDown, and NXT. Meron silang video on demand na ina-upload just hours after of the live broadcast, which is good for people na hindi makakapanood ng Raw sa mga streaming service o sa mga walang alam sa mga pirata-pirata na yan. Pero ayun, that was a really good service. Free siya for Converge users and you have to pay 179 pesos kung gusto nyo walang ads at yung ibang channels gusto nyo makita. Yun. So that's Blast TV. And here on the podcast, you can follow the podcast on all of the social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter or X, Instagram, TikTok, Twitch, and on sa iba pang mga social media platforms natin, YouTube, sa Threads at the MTG Show Pod. You can support the show on Patreon, patreon.com/the MTG Show Pod. And syempre, marami pa tayong aabangan dito sa show, no? Malapit na ang Bash Awards. Gusto ko lang ipaalam sa inyo na advance na to ha. Advance ko na sasabihin nito. Pero the Bash Awards format, medyo kailangan natin siya i-rehash, no? May pinaplano na akong ilang mga bagay-bagay sa ating Bash Awards this year. That will be the 4th annual Bash Awards na mangyayari ngayong taon. And mag-iiba yung format niya this year. So, kailangan ko siya medyo i-rehash and some segments of it, papatanong na lang natin sa mga host natin, mga kaibigan natin from the scene at saka sa Bong Collective na din. So, Bong Collective will determine the picks na din for our Bash Awards 2023. Yan na. So, again, I hope you can follow us on social media at the MTG Show Pod. And of course, you can support Bong Collective, all of the Bong Collective shows. Visit our website, thebongph.com. And yung ating social media platforms, Facebook, X, Instagram, TikTok, at sa iba pang mga social media platforms at the Bong PH. Like what I said, please support our local scene here in the Philippines. Support din natin yung show, syempre yung group natin sa Facebook. Kung gusto nyo sumali sa one of the most interactive wrestling communities in the Philippines. This is Pro Wrestling PH Club. You can join our community. It's for free. And syempre, discussion tayo na maganda dun. Umayos kayo. Mga magandang bagay, syempre makikita nyo yan in Pro Wrestling PH Club. That's on Facebook. That's facebook.com/Pro Wrestling PH Club on Facebook. Yan. So, yan lang naman, basically, yung ating episode this week. So, that will be episode number 187 on the podcast. And next week's episode, so probably wala nang i-review dito. Mekos-mekos na lang natin yung mga pwedeng mangyari, no? Pero sige, mag-mekos-mekos na lang tayo next week. Ayan, next week nga pala is the anniversary of Disney Plus. Aga ko mag-anniversary, no? Pero sige, magagawa tayo ng commentary about Disney Plus. Gusto kong masamasahin tong Disney Plus na to. This week, nagpropaganda tayo about Plus TV. Ngayon, magpo-propaganda rin tayo about Disney Plus. Yan lang naman for this week's podcast. Ayan, that's it for our episode this week. So I hope you guys are enjoyed your long weekend. Syempre, sana nag-enjoy kayo. And ayun, stay safe, stay reso. For now, see you on the next episode of the podcast. For now, peace out and goodbye for now.